Have a seat. Yeah, there's the mic is there. Yes. Hello, 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 hello. And also, the man who's going to be, you should have your picture up there, Brent from Dentsu. Thanks very much, and thank you for being part of this event. So I'll turn things over to you.
How's everybody doing? Post-lunch, pre-drinks, no pressure. No pressure. I have the distinguished honor of introducing this panel. JB has been with Gameloft for almost 20 years. This is my research, by the way, not their research, so they have no idea what I'm about to say. But several roles across Europe, very interesting character, helping drive and leverage brands, and allowing them to create using games, which is excellent. We'll dig into that. Abby, CEO, co-founder of NumberEight, a data analytics platform that allows safe targeting of consumers, powering companies like Gameloft to win. I gotta be really honest. What the fuck does that even mean? That sounds like every company in this room. So start with, who are your competitors? Lay that out for us. This is all unscripted, so this is going to be great.
Thanks, Brent.
Yes.
So, hi, I'm Abby. So, NumberEight is an ID-less audience intelligence company. So we help, simply put, brands and advertisers target relevant users without the use of IDs and cookies across hard-to-address media, be it gaming, podcasting, connected TV, and so on. In this context, of course, we work with Gameloft to help them make gaming accessible and addressable for brands.
Love it. Who are your competitors? Name names.
Competitors. So we have we have two groups of competitors. Our larger data incumbents being the likes of Nielsen, TransUnion, Comscore, Experian, and smaller groups of companies, these are startups, Covatic and others. But the larger ones who we are oftentimes compared against are those large four, because they're using a traditional approach of IDs and cookies to build data. You know, that's been going on in the world of advertising since the last 20 years or more. So it's just a new approach that we have.
Perfect. Context set. JB, tell us about Gameloft and who are your competitors?
Well, let's start with the competitor. If I wear the cap Gameloft, my competitors and friends are people like Activision, Zynga, Rovio, Miniclip, and all the well-known publisher on the mobile space, though Gameloft tries also to be a multi-platform developer and publisher. So you may imagine all the Ubisoft. I know we're speaking with the Ubisoft guy backstage. But if I wear the cap of Gameloft for brands, which is my division, we're not that many competitors. We're not that many to advocate for brands to go into gaming. So for the UK audience today, you might know brands like Venatus or Super Awesome, which are, I would say my main competitors today.
The closest thing. So it's two branches. One very focused on brands, one very more traditional based on the publisher side.
Correct.
Okay, the full context is set. These are legends in the gaming industry, but also behind the scenes. And so it's really important context as we start to frame really the thesis of this talk. The very first question, again, I'm swinging hard. Is gaming a safe place for brands to even be in? And JB, we'll start with you.
Of course, the answer is yes.
JB of Gameloft for brands.
No, it's not.
No, then I mean we it is a safe place, yes. It, however, requires a lot of thorough and care into preparing how to get into gaming. Because I mean it's like, you know, back in 2008, and someone would say I want to do social. And today that I want to do gaming, yeah, okay, but what do you want to do exactly? Do you want to build awareness, consideration, legitimacy, whatever? And this is where it becomes important to fine-tune what are the expectations of the client and overall, and the ambition, the expectations, the ambition, the KPI. And then there are, of course, very safe solutions in gaming. what we do essentially is placing brands into games that are not necessarily very UGC based, so you don't really expose your brands to any undesired content or toxic environments. So yeah, overall, today it's very safe. You need to trust the right people to do it with you, but it's very safe.
In that spectrum that we're referring to here is traditional games, mobile, console, all the way over into platform-based, Roblox, Fortnite, Minecraft, all those things. Elaborate a little bit on that. Do you feel like this is a safe place, the gaming?
I just say, Lee, JB, to your answer on Game Law for Brands. Game Law for Brands has an amazing roster of games that they built up. I mean, if you just go to the site, you'll see the logos, and it's like, if you'd have all played those games at some point in time, guaranteed. And so again, going back to your point on is gaming safe? Gaming is, I think, often unfairly compared to other media channels, be it social media or outdoor and web, where you have unsafe stuff on those channels all the time. But why is gaming perceived very differently? And that's a very cultural thing as well. If any of you have ever played any games as a kid, I don't know if your parents looked at you differently or not. I know mine definitely did. But it has changed over time, and I expect, and mobile gaming specifically, has helped make it much more accessible and acceptable for people to just say, yeah, I play games.
Yeah. You can kind of blame your parents in some cases.
Absolutely, yeah, totally.
I learned this from watching you, Mom. Facebook,
Yeah.
That's where it started. Talking about this convergence and the crossover between sports, entertainment, gaming, there's some swim lanes. And some of those swim lanes overlap, and some of them are completely independent. I think you both are trying to kind of tackle this really interesting segment. So how do you guys go about targeting those segments? And maybe do you have a case study of something that we can just hear about? Maybe from JB, we'll have you start.
Of course, there are swimming lanes, and that's precisely why we teamed up with NumberEight, because we were very convinced in the solution and in what they do, because the context we're in, I think we're getting there afterwards, but we in a very, it's as, gaming are very data rich overall, but it has escaped no one that regulations has become very stringent and very restrictive for people, for publishers to leverage the first party data that we can use for targeting purpose in an advertising context. So we are very watched by regulators and very watched by users. And teaming up with NumberEight, and I think Abby, you will describe a bit what you do, but it helps us actually having a better understanding of our audiences, even though we do have an understanding from very contextual type of studies that we're doing about our audiences, but it doesn't make our audiences very addressable without a solution like NumberEight offer. And what I mean here is that all the audience, whether it's entertainment, sports, and gaming, are definitely overlapping, we know it. But so far, we needed a future-proof solution in order to be able to identify them in an addressable way for our brand's clients, and that's what we do together with NumberEight today, and we're very, very proud of building a future-proof, really future-proof solution together to develop the legitimacy of gaming for brands today, and to be present in all the media plans.
So it's an interesting, I'm going to pull that thread a little bit. We all, I'm in an agency, a lot of people in here with agencies, we talk about all the aspirational things that we want to do. Share with me maybe your favorite or one of the best kind of case studies that you have that showcases a big brand working in a space like gaming, although it might be scary, they did it with you and it was successful.
So many.
I'm just really teen. You can pay me after. So you're teeing this up.
I'm just going to quote without dropping names, because actually what we've done to as proof of concept of the NumberEight solution and how do we approach things together with Abby, is that we tested on selected clients in France. How does the response of NumberEight solution measure up against our own first-party data? And it was pretty much on the par, so we were pretty impressed. And how does it measure compared to very renowned type of measurement companies? And it actually yielded better results.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Like, I think everyone's chasing data. We're all chasing metrics and benchmarks and ROI. We have all sorts of targets. Our planning teams are obsessed with putting the most successful thing out there.
And this was for the SFR, the large French telco.
Yeah, I mean, these massive brands that have incredible reach.
You had some experience working on specifically on the QSR side. So McDonald's was a campaign that we ran, and the campaign was run. Okay, they wanted to target parents and also 18 to 34, I think. They want to reach, again, making mobile game audiences addressable, not just because it's in a survey. It's actually backed by data that they can then do studies after as well. So we've seen that, and we have a case study of that as well.
In a big brand like McDonald's, like, what do they see? Like, what is the thing that jumps off the page for them of like, oh wow, this
It was, I think the campaign output was about 58% increase in brand uplift and brand recall. That's what the thing that they wanted. It was an awareness campaign for a specific menu that they were trying to put out.
Yeah.
And then they saw that, and this was in Canada.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not following along the McDonald's, clearly I'm following the McDonald's key beats, but like they're struggling in certain markets, right? And so for them to go and take a risk on a gaming activation, it's actually
Because actually gaming does introduce that incrementality, right? Again, if you come back to point on, you have traditional audiences that are people. We are on social, we're on web, we're on any other audiences where we're consuming content. Gaming allows us to tap into audiences that wouldn't necessarily be available to get to using the traditional channels. But if you are able to reach someone in gaming with those same audience segments, you can actually do that with data.
I won't put you on the spot, JB, on this one, but Abby, I'm going to put you on the spot on this one. We talk about ethical data, right? Efficiency comes to mind, sourcing comes to mind, scraping comes to mind. Ethical data is really the pillar of media, right? And you see some cracks in how some of this is being done today. Maybe talk to us a little bit about why it's important to have clean data, ethical data, and partner with people that share those same values.
No, for sure. And see, I come from an engineering background, and when I first got into advertising, the idea was...
Here's the caveat. This is the media caveat.
Yeah,
I come from engineering.
By the way, I took a 2-month course in it. No, I'm kidding. No, but the point was, when you look at it as an engineering view, is that some things should just be done a different way than others. So when we first looked at data, and in this space, we looked at behavioral data and affinity data. The sourcing, as you point out, is very important because with any kind of machine learning models, it's a shit in, shit out system. Whatever you put in, you're going to get out. So if you have really bad quality labeled data to input into your models, you're going to get really bad quality output data. So in terms of how we are able to build this, one of the things that, of course, stands out as a bread and butter of any kind of advertising is demographic data. And as we were doing analysis with Gameloft and with other partners, we're trying to understand, okay, how are people sourcing this demographic data? There's a few ways, surveys and others. Now, oftentimes, there's also another key ingredient, which is IP-based data. So IP, you take an IP address, match it to a household, and from a household, you basically say this household is male-leaning or female-leaning. And that determines the demographics. But the problem with that is, typically at a household, you have 2.5 to 3 people living. So what happened, we found in our actual data, side by side, when you have male-leaning games, like obviously male-leaning games or obviously female-leaning games, the results came out from some of the other vendors, 50-50. And we were trying to understand, why is this happening? Why is it all 50-50? And the issue was, again, what you're using to determine demographics over here. If you're using IP address, I can guarantee you, just open up your phone, go to whatismyip.com, you're probably going to put in Croydon or somewhere right now. That's just the nature of IP-based addressability. That's one of the fundamental problems, what happens with demographics today. And that's just one example.
Yeah. Just kind of to dig on that a little bit. Like what I'm going to use a buzzword here, so everybody get your bingo cards out. What role does AI play then as you're trying to go and like we hear it truly is just the worst buzzword. What does that actually mean? Like what you like how can you correlate those two things together? And like what is your company doing to go and help solve that for companies like Gameloft?
So just on the AI piece, AI as a broad strokes, it has a lot of things. You have machine learning, you have deep learning, you have LLMs is one tiny portion, which is the generative bit. You have reinforcement learning, all these different approaches. What we are doing with Gameloft specifically, we're helping them enrich and present their gaming inventory in a much more attractive way for brands. So how do we do that? We basically have our labeled data world. It's like a known world of demographic data. We combine that with contextual information. Now, what do I mean by contextual information? Simply put, you take a game, you can just look at the game category that's puzzle or it's adventure, etc. But you have to go beyond that. That's not enough for a brand to get excited because the brand really doesn't understand what the hell is puzzle game, like what do I do with that? So if you look at the imagery, if you look at the content, the description, the username, the reviews, everything, all of that is metadata about the game. When you combine these audience characteristics and the contextual information, you get a much more robust understanding of who the likely audience is going to be. That's how we're basically working with Gameloft brands.
And this offered us, again, going back to the question of the ethic of what we do, Gameloft for Brands, so the division I'm representing is part of Gameloft. So we are first and foremost a game publisher that is accountable for what we do with people's data, our players' data, and we're not an external network to Gameloft bearing no responsibility. We are responsible in front of the Gameloft gamers, users. So in that sense, we have to be a lot more ethical than most of our, let's say, direct or indirect competitors that are aggregating inventory, aggregating solutions on behalf of others. So this accountability drove us to drastic decision, like, for instance, today we are generalizing the opt-in principle worldwide. This is a European requirement, but it's not a requirement everywhere. We are doing it because we think, ethically speaking, the world is going to go opt-in on everything. Even if the US currently, the paradigm in the US is opt-out, it's going to get to opt-in eventually. So we are just ahead of that. So ethically speaking, we're really trying to be, we're a bit extreme, but in order not to be at the detriment of addressability for our brand and clients on the media side, on the media buying side, we needed solutions. We screened a lot of companies, and we partners eventually with NumberEight a year ago, roughly, to overcome that aspect, basically. And we are very happy because we think, okay, we're set for decades now. It can work this way.
I just like to say, anytime we go and tell at any conference in the US, for example, if it's an ad tech conference, we tell, oh, we work in France. They're like, oh, you work in France? Because the legislative rules in France are so freaking hard. Yeah. It is so stringent. So, and we drop the name of Gameloft again in France, and like, oh, so if you're okay in France, you're okay in most
everywhere
places.
Else. Yeah, it's good. It's a good baseline. So we have an interesting dynamic here. You kind of have a front end for a brand, and you kind of have a back end for a brand. For all the brands here and agencies, you guys can plug your ears. What is holding brands back? Like, do you see as the most common thing that's holding brands back from just being like, we're in?
Well, can you also answer that as well? Because you're on the front face.
I will ask the questions here, sir. Yes.
There are, I'd say, well, first off, you allowed me to answer one of the first objection we're generally getting, is it safe? So I said, yes, it's safe. Also depends on what you want to do. But overall, I think there is a misunderstanding still about the audience. Who are the players? Who are the gamers today? And it takes a lot of efforts to showcase that everyone is concerned, everyone plays games at some point in their lives or in their day or at any age. I mean, 40% of the 50 plus play games, so it's not something just teenagers like the stereotypes we may still have 20 years ago. And so misconception about the audience and the fact that you can actually reach your consumers through gaming, and gaming is part of the economy, the attention economy today, and you need to be considering it as a potential vehicle. And the second is misconception of that, like generally the thing, it's complicated. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You can actually book a programmatic campaign tomorrow and be live in very renowned games worldwide. So.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Abby?
No, I'll just build on the perception piece, and I'm going to throw my parents under the bus again, because, again...
They're in the back.
They're in the back. Oh, shit, Mom. No.
Yes, yeah.
No, it's, as kids, when you're looking at gaming, it's like, oh, why are you playing games? You should go outside, play with your friends. But again, I learned about economy design from playing games. Warcraft 3, Age of Empires. I learned about the value of how do basic systems of societies work by playing games. Now, it's very interesting because that's not really valued upon. Of course, as time changes, I think as also people who are involved on the buying decision side, they will also change as well in terms of what it means to be gaming. Because, think of it, if you're playing the stock market, that's a game. If you are, Duolingo just put out a language learning game, that's a game.
Yeah.
All of these are just games, but it depends what we call as games. So that definition is not just a desktop or a console in the basement with greasy fingers. No. I mean, you just walk in the London Tube, you'll see people playing from Match 4 to tic-tac-toe to you name it.
Totally. It's wild how it's progressed. Yeah, maybe just quickly from our perspective, I have maybe a more kind of meta view of it. I actually think it's operational. So CMO says, start of the year, October, we're going to set our budgets, right? Jan 1 through December. They say, we're going to go big this year. We're going to do gaming. Let's add gaming to our innovation budget. So it's like, here's the regular budget. Here's our innovation budget. Top of the list, gaming. Then shit hits the fan in sales. And they're like, great, let's gut the innovation budget. So whack, they cut very top thing on the bottom of the innovation list. And then another thing, and then another thing. And then all of a sudden you have this separate, lonely gaming budget, and it's now like 50 grand for, a multi-$100 million, AOP in marketing. And so it gets cut because it doesn't make sense. And so like our response to like getting brands on board is have an integrated gaming strategy, which includes a budget that's integrated into your regular marketing mix, integrated into budgeting. And when CMO comes to cuts, you'd be like, no. We agreed to this. The innovation budget's over there. All that other stuff is on that side. Like, don't cut that. And so if you can move those things in, it protects. And general marketers in kind of like CMO levels will say, oh yeah, it's already in. It already makes sense. But everything we've been discussing underpins all that. And so like for us, that's our biggest thing in getting people over the hump is just saying, hey, you got to get gaming out of your innovation budget and into your main AOP for the year. Otherwise, you're just not in a good spot.
And briefly on this, our belief is that this is going to happen because it's also a question of generation.
Yeah.
It's totally generational. Like in 10 years from now, most CMOs will be ex-gamers or ongoing gamers.
Totally. It's like it's what the movie. We are the captains now. Just you wait. We'll be there someday. Well, we've got a couple minutes left. I was going to ask questions, but I actually have two questions that I think are that people here will want to know. The first is, what are you the most excited about in kind of the next 12 months? I'll tee that up just a little bit. We've seen a bunch of hardware announcements. We've seen some cloudware announcements, some software announcements. All the games are dropping all over the place. And then obviously, GTA is one of the biggest, actually it will be across everything. Like big stuff happening in gaming here in the next 12 months. What are you both, maybe take off your corporate hat for a second. Like what are you most excited about?
I cannot take it
Okay,
off.
you can put your corporate hat back on, that's fine.
No, speaking for my church, we do believe the ads in games is just the beginning. It's limited to mobile today, and we know for a fact that there are going to be opportunities in other spaces, and I'm thinking console in particular. Subscription-based type of, also ad-based subscription models and this kind of thing. So we'll be there, and that's one of our things. Then I'm excited about, I think GTA 6 is a very big motive of excitement for the upcoming year.
Yeah, interesting.
I can't take the hat off, but
Always on.
I will say I'm genuinely excited to be partnering up here with Gameloft because, again, it's a story we've heard about, gaming as gamers, and it's in the innovation budget, etc. But to your point on, if you take gaming out of the gaming bucket, but you just say you're reaching as a brand or agency, you're trying to reach audiences, you're trying to reach people to buy, use, or be aware of your product or service. That's at the end of the day they're trying to do. They just happen to be listening to the radio, they're walking past a billboard, they're reading a newspaper, they're looking at a website, and they happen to be playing a game. It doesn't need to be something we don't know. But that comes with, we really want to see this data actually being used and to get that trust factor built in, because we can definitely stand by the data.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for the candid. Sorry for the curveballs. These guys have their contact information up here. Please reach out to them. They'll be around. Use the app. Reach out during the network sessions, and appreciate you guys listening.
Thank you, Brent.